Okay, so like I said, the next big chunk of this course is we're going to talk about what happens to Europe after the collapse of Rome. So the Byzantine Empire is the story of what happens to the eastern half of Europe after the collapse of the Roman Empire. And we begin as usual with geography. You guys should have the aim in your notebooks already, and we just went over some responses to the do now. So off we go. All right, this is relatively quick. So I will speak while you guys write, but Constantinople is built with the express purpose of serving as the seat of power for the Byzantine Empire. So this is not a city kind of growing organically like we saw with Rome. This is the power structure choosing this location with purpose and developing it, with purpose. And like we said, we chose this. They chose this location here because of its kind of strategic location. The idea that Rome became wealthy as a result of controlling trade, Byzantine Empire is going to piggyback off of that, right? This is Rome 2.0. So they're going to kind of do the same thing. And we've spoken in previous lessons about the Silk Road and the trade between the Mediterranean world and Asia to the east. And we've talked about how the Silk Road consists of both overland trade routes and water routes, right? So Constantinople, as you can see here on the map, is in this location where all of the, one of the students mentioned in the do now that kind of all the water kind of flows through this location. This kind of serves as the strait, right? This small strip of water that connects larger bodies of water. So with regard to controlling sea routes as far as trade goes, this is an ideal location, and that's why it's chosen. So basically, Constantinople becomes the world's largest and most lucrative toll booth, and all the trade coming through here is, being taxed and controlled by the Byzantine Empire and the people of Constantinople. And this is the big idea here. Okay, I'll give you a second. All right, so this slide is basically just a summary of the things we just spoke about. The idea that Constantinople becomes by far the wealthiest city in the Roman Empire before it's officially kind of dissolved and restructured, even more wealthy than Rome itself. And it's because of that strategic location. It's because of the control of that strait that all the trade is going to travel through. And that's the biggest part of the story. So it is the central location here, the strategic location, that makes Constantinople by far the wealthiest. And kind of everything else about the Byzantine Empire is dependent upon the success of Constantinople with regard to the control of trade. So all the other cultural achievements, military expansion, geographic expansion, cultural developments are all predicated upon the success of Constantinople as it relates to the control of trade. Without Constantinople, none of the other things that we talk about for the remainder of the unit kind of come to be, because the Byzantine Empire does not have its kind of seat of stability that is represented by Constantinople and that kind of exploitation of trade. So that's the most important aspect of this.